Hi guys, I'm re-recording this video because I did record it the other day, but I wasn't overly happy with it. So I'm going to record it. If I am a bit wheezy, I'm sorry, I'm full of a cold. And it aggravates my asthma, so I apologise in advance. For those that aren't aware, the Josh Show is back. And there is a reason why everything that happened roughly this time last year happened. Some of it we sort of already knew, some of it we didn't, and has since come out. I will preface this by saying I am biased to a point because I have been talking to Josh for some time now, and I've gotten to know him quite well, and I actually believe him, and everything he says makes complete sense, in my opinion. But I would after finish watching this, I will leave the Real Stream News' video up in the iCard. He's already given me permission to use clips in this video of things I will be talking about, but obviously I won't put the whole video in because that's not fair on him, but I will put little clips here and there of particularly of the proof and of the audio recordings that are mentioned and so on. Right. So, for those that are unaware, about this time last year, the Josh Show posted something on Twitter, sort of like, I have depression, this is re-aggravating my depression, I don't know what to do right now, I really just want to give up. And then, because of that, a lot of people were saying, is he okay, has he killed himself, etc., so on and so forth. So Josh, because of the blackmail that was going on, and the fact that they were starting another element of the blackmail, he pretty much said, let's just say, let's just go with the suicide thing.
Yeah, that's part of Neil Century's profile. Okay, when I read that, I said, okay, I either go back on YouTube and talk about Neil Century, which means talk about my wife.
Yeah,
which I've never done, even with in private conversation with my YouTubers friends, I've never done. Okay.
Yeah.
Or I just leave.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Okay.
It was December, was Christmas, so not a very happy time when you are a single father.
Almost about a year now. Almost about a year.
So it wasn't a happy time. It's Christmas is never a happy time when you're trying to deal with stuff you haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
So this is what I did, and this is what I did when my wife left. I just sold my house. I stopped contacting all my friends. That's what I did. Okay, stop doing everything. I don't want to talk about stuff.
It was a lot. Obviously, it was a lot. Yeah.
So when I read that, I thought I either talk about her in the New Century or I just leave. And I said, fine, leave. As soon as I left the message, people start saying, are you committing suicide? And I thought, there was my assistant with me, and she said, well, they're saying this, they think that you're committing suicide. And I said, fine, go with it. I don't care. I just will never talk about her. And that's it. And that's when I left.
Okay, so then everybody at that point was pretty much under the impression that you either were going to kill yourself or you were trying to, right? Is that?
Yeah. Then I went along with that rumor.
So you were like, screw it. You were like, screw it. I'm going to disappear. Screw it.
Yeah. I said, okay, fine. I will never talk about this. I will never, ever talk about my wife or what happened. And I just let them do whatever they had to do and went along with it. And I made some mistakes, which that this is tricky. I don't regret what I've done because it helped me. So I can rationalize it. But I'm ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Because that was the first breakdown I've ever had, and it was public, so it was humiliating, and that's it. So I left, and they kept saying whatever they had to say. I just ordered my assistant just to delete everything. Just check their page on Lookout, whatever they post, you delete. I don't care. Don't talk to me about that. Don't ask me anything. Just delete. And so she did.
Okay, so you just pretty much were just like, that's it. I'm not going to respond to anybody. I'm not going to post anything anymore. And since then, you just haven't. And
since then, I haven't. So in this last year, I left for a year. I haven't been on YouTube for a year. Well, I haven't shown myself for a year, and I took seriously the help I needed to talk about whatever happened. And although hard, it's still hard. It will always be hard, but I can talk about this. I can now. I'm ready. I'm doing. Yes, I might cry. I'm crying now, but I can talk.
Yeah.
So, okay.
And he admits that he was wrong to do that, but he has a reason behind it, and it's a reason I can kind of understand. So, obviously, he faked his death. And we found out, and we were obviously very worried, but he's fine. His child's fine, everything's fine. But what happened is around about September 2017, Josh was doing a lot of research on a video about Onision, particularly about claims that Onision had raped somebody in the past. And he was trying to get in contact with somebody that was either the victim or knew the victim, and he was looking for somebody. And he put up on his Twitter, I'm looking for this person. And then somebody called Caitlin got in touch with him and said, oh, I know what you need to talk about. This is the details, blah, blah, blah. And when he rang the person whose details Caitlin gave him, they were very standoffish, they were very nasty, they were very abrasive with him on the phone. And he couldn't understand why. He come off the phone and he was like, I'm sorry, I feel like I've intruded. As a means of an apology, would you like it if I sent you some treats from Japan? And she said, yeah, that's fine. And then he got in touch with her over Twitter and said, whenever you feel safe, whenever you feel ready, just send the address over. She never did, so we just left it. Then the blackmail started. While he was communicating with Caitlin, trying to get the information about this person, Caitlin had actually recorded the audio of a conversation that she'd had with Josh over, I think it was a Discord server. And she, saying, all it said in the video was that he said that he had a contact who was sure that this is the person that was saying that Onision had raped them, and that this contact believed them, but obviously they needed to double check their information.
After the chat, I contacted him. I was like, can you tell me more? Because I keep on hearing this rumor, okay? Just tell me whatever you have, and if I can find something, I'll do my best.
Okay.
So, understood. So after about 1 week, 2 weeks, I collected about 10 names, and I started calling them. I think I reached number 5, 6, or 7. I don't remember, and someone DM'd me saying, "Oh, can you contact this girl? Caitlin, she knows everything about everything. She can help you. She knows everything." I was like, "Okay, let's call her. Let's contact her." So we talked, and she told me, "Yes, I can help you finding this person." So we got into this audio conversation, which she recorded, and I told her, well, my contact believes that she was sexually assaulted by Onision.
Okay.
And that was very important for me, because I said my contact believes. Okay.
Yeah.
My contact said that she believes.
Yeah. Is it only me and you here, or there is someone else?
No, it's just a direct call. It's only me and you in the group.
class, right?
Yeah.
Promise me, you need to promise me, Caitlin, that you will not talk about this with anyone, to anyone.
I won't. I mean,
Okay?
yeah.
Okay. My contacts told me that she believes to have been sexually assaulted by Elysium.
And she
So he said that in the audio recording, but she then started blackmailing him, saying that you harass the family, that you constantly ringing the family, that you're constantly getting in touch with them, this, that and the other. And the fact that she recorded him to begin with is illegal. We've already had this conversation around John especially, where it depends on the country where the person is, and in Japan it is illegal, which is where Josh was at the time, and he still is. So it was illegal for her to do that, so she recorded that. She then had information about his real name and things like that. So she was there's actually an audio a clip that they've released. Like I said, some of these clips I will be popping in, but there's a lot to go through.
actually smiled and said, "I'm gonna dox you."
Did you send me a friend request? Boy, I'ma dox you. Wait.
And there's one saying, "I'm gonna dox you." Oh, he sent me a friend request. I'm gonna dox you. I'm gonna dox you, type of thing. So then they were blackmailing him, saying that he was harassing the family, which he never did, which he was fighting. And then they were blackmailing him, saying that he abused his child, which he was fighting because he never did. The thing that caused the final, that was the last straw, shall we say, was they accused him of plagiarism with relation to an account called Neo Century. And there is a full backstory to that, which he didn't want to explain at the time. So, because the topic of that particular thing was so sensitive to him, he didn't want to talk about it, which is understandable. So that's when he just sort of went with what the rest of us were fearing, was that he killed himself. Now, the harassers and the blackmailers, Caitlin and her group of friends, have released all the audios which actually make her look bad and not him. Basically back up everything he's been saying, but not her. They've also uploaded the video where they said he abused his daughter. Now, they said that he abused his daughter, that while he was changing the nappy, that he positioned her so he had full view of that area, and that he spread feces in her area. Now, first of all, the video's been uploaded onto LiveLeaks. The video is actually taken from behind her, like 2 meters away, and on the angle you actually see more of him than you do of her. Anything to do with her downstairs area is blurred out, and where they've probably thought, oh, he's smearing things, is that when you change a child's diaper, for those that don't know, you have to wipe it down, and that you have, generally with infants, you have to put on something which is called nappy rash cream, which helps prevent and helps treat nappy rash, which you put on your finger and then you just spread it into the areas that needs to go in, and then you put the diaper on. And for those that probably are not aware of how you change a diaper, would probably think that that is suspicious, when in actual fact it is completely natural and completely normal. But they've uploaded this video onto LiveLeaks, you know, the website where it's got like murders and suicides and shit on. And they've uploaded the video in question, which actually just proves that what they're saying Josh did to his daughter, he never did. But they're saying that he'd done it and that video would prove it, but their video just proves that Josh was just changing his daughter's nappy. Right, let's get on to the plagiarism. Now, the before he and his wife got together, he was talking to his wife, and she didn't want to get too involved with any non-Japanese man, because a lot of men do sort of latch on to Japanese women, and you know, they will either use them as a way to get into Japan, or they will use them as a way to get money, or a way to whatever. And the woman that would become Josh's wife was talking to somebody prior to Josh, and he had taken money off her and basically scammed her. So it's like catfished, if you will. And when she started talking to Josh, she explained that to Josh, and she said, that's why I'm a bit reluctant to get in contact with anybody that isn't Japanese, that, you know, doesn't, you know. So what Josh did is he started an account on various things under the name of Neil Century, in order to get in contact with this guy, to get him to give his future wife the money back. Like I say, the woman that would become his wife and Josh were still only friends at this stage. So he set up this account with music that he'd recorded that sounded very similar to somebody else's music. And, you know, that he'd used it, and there were only a couple of pictures on the account with his face on, which is how Caitlin and several other people have got a hold of the account, because they recognised the face. And he then, you know, started talking to this guy, because he knew that this guy runs into this particular type of music. He was talking to this guy and, you know, having conversations with him, and managed to get this guy to give the woman who would become Josh's wife her money back.
Change. Plagiarism. You want to talk about plagiarism? Okay.
Yeah. So what exactly happened there?
Okay. The Neil Century profile was an hoax. Okay, but it wasn't a bad one to deal with one of my wife's problems. So we made that thing. We tried to put. It was more than 10 years ago. So we needed an important figure. Okay, because she needed to get some money back from her boyfriend, which is a common problem in Japan. A lot of foreigners come here, try to get in a relationship with a Japanese woman, with a wealthy Japanese woman, and they ask for money, and then they disappeared. And so that happened to her. And she told me, I don't want to have, because I liked her a lot, I asked, how can I help you? Do you need money to get a lawyer or to find? No, because it's just me giving money to this person. There is no record. I gave him cash, and I don't want to get involved with anything because I can't ask my parents for money. So I said, okay. So with friends, I talked with housemates, and we said, okay, what can I do? What can I not do? And they told me, well, you can make up a profile on the internet, just make it scary, and then contact him. So we made a few profiles, and that wasn't the only one. But that was the only one with my face. So the one was the only one with my face, because at one point I had to upload my picture because he wanted to talk to me on Skype. So that's when I started uploading. I uploaded maybe one picture of me, I think, one or two maximum. I don't remember. But yeah, that was a very important figure we created, and I created. And eventually we collected all sorts of information about him and his family, and we called him, and I just told him. I pretended to be this friend of mine, this Japanese friend of mine I met, that then became my wife. Mm-hmm. And I told him, my wife would like to have her money back. Yeah. And you have to give it to her. And at first he was very, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Don't call me, I don't know her. And then after a few weeks, I know her, but I didn't steal the money. And then at the end he said, okay, I got the money, and I'm going to give the money back. $400 $400 per month. And that's it. So I removed whatever I could remove, except for a few things on Wikipedia that they had to stay. Some things had to stay there and for a long time, because my fear was, okay, if he's going back and check and he doesn't find anything, maybe he's gonna accuse her
Okay.
of something I don't want. So let's keep everything there.
Okay.
And that was more than 10 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was how I kind of like seduced my wife, because I helped her getting the money back. And then she agreed to have a breakfast with me because she didn't want to have anything to do with foreigners. So I wanted to get that money back for her. So he started sending her money,
Yeah.
and she was like, she called me crying, and I said, yeah, it's
Yeah.
me. And so, would you like to have breakfast with me now? And she said yes.
Yeah.
So that's a personal story. That's why I said, okay, fuck it, I'm not gonna talk about this and just leave. Because I didn't want to talk about my private life on YouTube, on the Josh Show. The Josh Show was made to escape from my problems, not to not to talk about them.
Which he did on he pays so much every month to pay the money back that he'd taken from her. And because Josh had managed to do that, she then decided to go on a few dates with Josh. They then became a couple, they got married, they had a daughter. She unfortunately passed. But when the whole plagiarism thing came up, he was not ready to tell that story. So it was either a case of tell the story, a very personal story about his wife, or go with the flow of what everybody was thinking was that he killed himself. So we were like, right, like I say, it was wrong for him to do that, but I can understand it. These people have harassed him. He also covered, after Onision had said one of his stupid things about kids with cancer, he interviewed a lady who was taking care of a child whose mother had died of cancer. And the lady did a video with Josh, and Josh was crying throughout the video. It was a very emotional video. Not long after that video went up, the lady in question was on YouNow, and Caitlin and her friends went to the YouNow broadcast and harassed her.
You never know, children pick up on a lot, and he was there basically the whole thing, and he dealt with the loss as well. So for a 5-year-old to just grasp that part of life is something that can't be taught.
Did he ask you where his cousin is, or
Yes.
what happened to her?
He did.
And
So I explained it in the best way that I could, and I said that she is an angel now, and that, and he looked at me and said, well, Mommy, I don't believe in angels. So I said, okay, that's fine. I don't push beliefs on him. So I said, think of it this way. I said, when the sun shines and you could see all those ray of lights? And he said, yes, Mommy. So I said, that's her. I said, that's her looking down on you. That's her smiling. So now, I'm sorry. Anytime that it's really, really sunny out and, you could see the rays from the sun, he's, Mommy, that's her. Mommy, she's saying hi. Mommy, she's here. And it took a while for him to grasp the fact that she wasn't coming back, but he did. Every night before he goes to bed, there's a picture of them on his dresser. And every night before he goes to bed, he says goodnight to it and talks to her. And I'm perfectly okay with that. And sometimes he will ask, he'll come up to me and say, Mommy, I don't want to forget her voice. Can I hear a video? And I'll go on Facebook and I'll find a video, and, and then she'll laugh in the video and he'll laugh, and it'll be fine.
why am I spamming him? I'm spamming him to prove, not even to prove, to prove a point that his jokes are getting crude and literally that could be his child. And exactly, typical girly 38. Exactly.
It's a car. Red car. I did.
How did I get my point across? That I don't understand. It's proving a point and it's showing him what it really looks like. It's not a little girl in a fucking video who's literally
I did a car.
in the picture, 6 maybe.
I did a car.
Like that. That's not what it looks like.
Car.
Honestly,
Did a
The cards? Your cards? Can you see
yeah,
them?
no, I'm not. First of all,
you
I never
don't see
said
them.
that you didn't know it was a joke. Second of all,
What's
unless you're talking in the chats, I don't know. I'm just talking about what I'm reading.
Ping-pong.
Right?
No, don't
I'm not
look.
using it as a pun because do you realize that?
Look.
Sorry, Caitlin, hold on. That when this comes
Nice.
Okay.
awareness,
Here.
and that's
Do you see my phone?
Yes, I see.
Am I on Twitter? Like, am I okay? Look at my hands. Type a comment, whatever. Oh, it isn't me. It was never me the whole time. Literally.
I was just saying, it's okay. I believe you.
Like, I've been on the phone this whole time. Like, it's not me. Not like I just whipped. Like, not me. Like.
What's this?
I'm going now. Like, this is ridiculous. Have a nice day. It was nice to meet you. Like, I'm sorry that you're involved in this.
Jump.
I got myself involved.
I'm gonna have a nice night.
It's not middle part. It's not middle part.
What even? How is it an argument? Because I'm not. There was no arguing about it.
Meron pan.
Bye bye.
Who is she?
You're done.
Ah, Roru. Who is she?
Oh God.
Now, am I leaving myself open for it? Probably, but I've always supported Josh for the last year. It's one of the reasons why I think he got in contact with me was because I had been supporting him and I'd been in his corner, and I probably always will be, because like I said, we've had at-length conversations and we trust each other. I trust him. If I had kids, I'd trust him to babysit my kids. Or be fair. These people release things on Lookout to try and make him look bad, but if anything, it just made themselves look bad because they were trying to twist things into something that didn't exist. Every single bit of information they've provided has actually made them look bad, not him. Now, add to that, they've been reported to Japanese authorities, and I think some American authorities as well, because what they're doing is not only illegal in Japan, it's illegal in America, and it'll be illegal in this country as well. Now, Josh has, the day I'm recording this video, which is Wednesday the 19th, he has uploaded a video today, which is a re-upload of a previous video that I'd tried to duplicate, but because I was doing it over email, it didn't duplicate as well as I was hoping it would have done, which was the John Cooking art video. So he's re-uploaded that, so I would definitely go and watch that, and I'll leave it in the iCard above. I'll also leave his channel in the iCard above for you to go over and subscribe. This guy has basically, for the last 12 months, has gone through hell. And especially the 3 months before I left YouTube, they were just constantly honoured him. They wanted $30,000 off him, or else they were going to release everything when he hadn't done anything wrong. He'd only contacted this group once, but they said that he'd harassed them. So, I have my tablet here, which is why I'm being lit from underneath. Not necessarily good look, it highlights the double chin, which hopefully I'll lose after Christmas, but that's by the by. I do have his Twitter feed up here now, and I'm going to read out two tweets that he's done, which are basically the like screen grabs of notes type thing on his Twitter. One was 5 days ago for me, so when this goes live it'll be 7 days. So it would have been last Friday, and then one which was 3 days ago, which would have been Sunday Monday. So first one, which was from a week ago for you guys. I'm coming back to you too. Yes, I will be releasing a video explaining everything that happens. All your questions will be answered. Please also watch Realstream News. There's an interview coming out soon up there too. I will also have to fix reality and address things some people have wrote about me on Lowcam. The first time I addressed my blackmailer and her friends on my website, and in a video published last year, I was asked not to name them because they were jobs at risk. I felt sorry for them and gave them a second chance, but it seems like the only life these people care about is theirs. I'm sorry I left, and by doing so gave these people the wrong impression and empowered them and made them feel empowered to just keep lying so much and so dangerously. If my life depended on a job I was employed to do, I would have probably lost it by now. I will not commit this mistake anymore. There is so much I have not shown you, and I think it's time to put these things and people in their right place. To do so, I will simply provide receipts and make everything public, rightfully crediting all people involved. Don't expect an angry Josh or 200 videos about this. I will be doing a one-time video a year, Christmas updates. I will not spare anybody because apparently I don't need to anymore. This will be the first legal step in regaining control of my own reputation and exposing the truth. I made some mistakes when I left, I know. It seemed crazy, I know. You are confused, I am too. But we watch about 20 minutes of someone's life and jumping to conclusions is a mistake we all do. I've been working on my issues, and I'll tell you what I can about me. A year off allowed me to deal with my state of denial and depression. Only 2 YouTubers knew about it and saw me during my worst moments. And every video chat has always ended the wrong way. It's okay now, really. I'm okay now, really. I'm fine. Don't worry, thank you. I wasn't. I'm still not okay, but I'm ready to talk about it. One time only. About the Josh Show. I started the Josh Show to keep my head busy. I never made a penny out of it. I have to pay for time, people, and research. I'm not really planning to. But now I'll be making videos for fun. The format won't change, but we've hired someone you'll love to make the Josh Show this time unique. I believe we'll be the first ones in our community. I will see you soon, Josh. So that one's for you when this goes live a week ago. Then this one's a little bit sooner. Like I said, some of the things I am referring to, I will be popping in screen recordings from the Realstream News, which, like I said, I have his permission to do so. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate that. And thank you, Josh, for trusting me. Right. So, he did another one. I have no problem with it. Do you? Being involved in some extremely disgusting behaviour. You have read the anonymous users have written, but none of you have ever seen this disgusting behaviour apart from a coveted / edited screenshot of a vlog of me changing my kid's nappy 2 meters away from the camera. Her private parts were positioned the opposite side of the camera. on a video published of all places on YouTube, which was up there for 8 months, which had been there for over 8 months and never received a single complaint, and has never been taken down, and was fucking blurred. You've read about weird titles about me spraying feces inside my kid right in front of the camera. Please, if you have the video, give it to the police, but you can't because it never happened and you've never seen it. This is pointed towards Caitlin and her crew. You know nothing about who wrote those things and why. Accusing of a crime, and I think he meant to say accusing people of a crime is in itself is a crime. Apart from all other crimes they've committed. I'll release all I have and will not cover these people's ass anymore. I feel vomiting. I'm assuming you meant I feel like vomiting to have to explain and provide proof that never happened to my slanderers, and this is something I completely back them up on. Those things never happened. You know it. But since you wrote it and seen it, you have no problem with me running a large ad campaign over all platforms to make sure everyone watches what I'll be publishing this wonderful Christmas and learn about the horrible things you have said I've done, as in Josh. I have no problem with that, do you? Now, I actually back him up on this. And like I say, I've been in touch with Josh. Since, sorry, I'm going back, November. So I've been in touch with him since November. So it's about a month or just over. And I trust Josh. And he's a very good, very decent person. And I believe what he's saying. I've always, when people raised this to me this time last year when we were talking about it, people said to me this stuff on Locale, and I said, well, when it comes to Locale, and I even say this about Joy, I take anything that's on Locale with a pinch of salt. I don't agree or don't agree with, nor do I take seriously what is written on Locale, because the plain simple fact is it is so easily edited, it is so easily manipulated, and it is so easily used. People are saying, could say one thing or another about anybody, and they do. It's the nature of being online nowadays, especially if you have any sense of following. Now, Onision isn't the best guy on YouTube, we all know that. But I think a lot of Onision's problems is issues that we're not aware of, and I don't even think he's aware of. The same with John, the same with Joy. A lot of people who are on platforms do this because we want to entertain, do this because we want people to watch us and things like that. Now, the fact that these people thought that they could take advantage of a man who had lost his wife, was raising a child on his own, in a country which is not the country in which he was born into, but thought that they would ruin his reputation just for shits and giggles and maybe get a bit of money out of it, I think is absolutely asinine and ridiculous. I trust Josh. A lot of people trust Josh. I don't think I'm the only person he's talking to. I would be naive to think that. He went through a lot, and yes, he made a few mistakes. But those mistakes were easily made by any of us. At the end of the day, you see a small snippet of our lives when we allow you to see that. You don't see the full extent of our lives as a whole. You don't see the full extent of everything I do, everything I say in my normal life. You don't see that much of my life. Just like you don't see that much, even of daily vloggers like Charles Trippi. You don't see all of his life. You see 10-20 minutes he might let you see a day. And that's it. At the end of the day, don't just believe what you see on a forum, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to be bullshit. Which is why when it comes to things like Joy and things like that, when it comes to stuff like Locale, I generally don't put much stock in it. These people tried to ruin his family, tried to ruin his life over just because they were being so fucking petty. I will also link down in the description a website which is going to have a lot of this proof on as well. And I would definitely recommend going and looking at that as well. I would, if you have a Twitter, go and follow him on Twitter. I will be sending you to his YouTube channel because I think the guy deserves a break. And I think we have to give the guy at least the decency to hear him out. Even if you just watch the real stream video, you'll see how badly this affected him. And I actually, there's a bit in the real stream video where he's talking about the story about his wife, and he was in tears, and I was nearly in tears at that point. They tried to taint his memory of his wife. Who would do that? Who would even think of doing that? And with relation to the plagiarism, because the music was never published on any website like iTunes or Spotify or anything like that, because it was never published for profit, it's technically not plagiarism. It was just like sort of a cover, but not, because the words were slightly different, but which Josh has already got backed up because he's spoken to legal advisors. A lot of what he's doing is on the advice of his legal advisors as well, where he's actually putting the information out there and he's saying this is what they're trying to say, this is what disproves everything that they're saying. So I'm going to edit this video because it's going to be a long one, because there's any bits I need to pop in. So I've got that to do tonight. I'm also making a video live tonight, which will probably piss a few people off, but I'm used to that by now. So, I do have 2 videos banked for over Christmas for next week. So probably either Wednesday or Friday I'll do a live stream, and whichever one I don't do a live stream, then you'll have a video for. Anyway, stay safe, be good, have fun, don't believe everything you see or hear, and I'll talk to you soon.